Colts parents! It's Miss Consuela here and my lovely assistant, Mr. Robert, to talk about the way that children show stress and how to take quick massage breaks to help with that. So first we'll talk about some basic massage techniques. We'll discuss how stress manifests in children and how massage breaks can be helpful for both you and your child. Can you hear me, Robert? When your movie is on, can you hear me?
Kind of.
But not really?
Not really.
Okay, good. That's good. So I have Robert watching a movie right now because I don't want him to hear all of the things that I'm saying because I am talking about the pandemic and some child stress symptoms. So I don't really want him to hear all of this. So he's watching a movie right now. So if you don't want your colt to watch this, that's probably a good idea. First, I'd like to cover just some very basic massage techniques. I think the main one is communication. Make sure that you're doing what your child likes because it can be kind of surprising, especially as an adult. We like to have like firm pressure, but children don't always like that. My son here, he likes to have his back lightly scratched under his shirt. He'll specifically say, "Mom, can you scratch my back under my shirt?" He knows exactly what he wants and what he doesn't want. So make sure that you ask them. Another good tip is to avoid putting pressure, especially on their spine, on their knees, on their elbows, ankles, any joints. You don't really want to put a lot of pressure on those parts of the body. And we definitely don't want to tickle them as you're giving them a massage. Unless you're having a fun tickle game, that's fine. But this is supposed to be a relaxing massage. So if they start to kind of pull back from you because it's tickling, then just stop doing that. Another thing to remember is we're not doing a therapeutic massage or a Thai massage. We're not trying to get out any knots in their muscles. We're just keeping it really chill. So definitely don't push too hard on them, especially because they're so small. Our children's muscle and fat and skin layers are a lot thinner than adults, so make sure you're really taking it easy on them. Something that children really like, and adults, is a good scalp massage. You can rub their head or you can gently scratch it. This is easier when your child has short hair, but also if your kid has long hair, you'll want to brush it or at least detangle it a little bit so your fingers don't get too tangled up in it. If you're using a lotion or an oil when you're doing a massage, don't worry about getting their hair messy. You can just wash their hair later. It's no big deal. But yeah, this is really relaxing. Oh, I'm getting it in your eyes, huh? Okay. I try to get all sides of his head. I try to get the top of his head, and the back, and down on his neck. And I move his hair in all different directions, and I slightly scratch and even very slightly pull on his hair. Just a little tiny bit. It feels good. You can rub their neck or their shoulders, but again, very gently. Some people will, when they're a little bit tensed up, is kind of tense that part of their body like they're preparing to do something, and it's just natural for you to tense that part of your body. So yeah, we can kind of gently rub their neck and their shoulders. Robert doesn't like this very much. I'm not going to do it that much. I think that children really like to have hand massages too. As they are practicing writing and they play with toys like Legos, they're really using their hand muscles. Let me show you something. Just real quick, okay? So just gentle compressions on the hand and each part of the finger, just to slowly go and give these little compressions. Can feel really nice for children. Like that. And again, not the wrist too much, not the elbow, but just gentle compressions on their hands can feel really nice. If you have lotion, then kind of lotioning up their hands too can feel good. You might have them wash their hands afterwards. Yeah, gentle compressions on their feet too can feel good. I'm going to compress the heel, and then the arch, and then the ball, and then each little toe I'm going to compress with my fingers. And that feels good. maybe even just have in your hand like that, kind of like you're playing with Play-Doh. That can feel really nice for kids. Because a lot of us are working from home, children are spending more and more time by themselves. They are spending more time by themselves or with their siblings or watching a screen. And this is totally fine. I'm definitely not going to judge you for that. No one is. That's how things are right now. But we do have to keep in mind that our cults are used to going to school every day. They've got 15 other kids, 3 teachers. They're playing with other classrooms. They're just around other people a lot. So being isolated by themselves can be kind of stressful. It can be kind of boring. They're might be a little bit understimulated at home, and that's okay. Even though you've provided them with lots of fun activities, you have educational cartoons, probably, maybe new toys or backyard play sets and new board games. Just not having all of those other people around them can be hard for them. They're just not quite getting the social interaction that they're used to getting.
Right here.
Okay, on the side? Okay. He's asking me to scratch on the side. Yeah, so they're just not getting the social interaction that they're used to getting. So that can make children feel a little bit stressed, and these big feelings can come out, and regression in behaviors. And this is all to be expected. Whenever children are facing this pandemic, these infectious diseases, a lot of experts have seen children manifest different symptoms of stress, like they have regression in social behaviors, they'll exhibit big tantrums and defiance, they may have mood swings, you might see them act more aggressively or more withdrawn, you might see them exhibiting new fears that they didn't have before. Suddenly they're afraid of the toilet when they've been potty trained for almost a year. They might be extra clingy, like really wanting to just give you hugs all the time. Maybe a little afraid when you go to work in your study or on your laptop. They might start having potty accidents. You could see changes in how much they're sleeping. Either they're sleeping a lot more, or somehow sleeping way less. You might see their appetite changes. They don't want to eat as much, or suddenly they're binging on sugary foods. They might even show changes in the way that they talk, having some speech problems, showing these impediments that they didn't have before. So these are all common symptoms. These are all common symptoms of stress that children have whenever they're faced with these infectious diseases with a pandemic. So even if you haven't talked to them directly about it, it's likely that they've picked up on these things from your conversations with other people or from just paying attention to the same news that you're watching. Children are really good at picking up on things even if we don't want them to. And when children don't completely understand things, they naturally fill in the gaps themselves. If they don't understand why something is happening, they will say, oh, well, it's probably because of this. That's very natural for children to do. It's part of the learning process. So if they don't understand why people are getting sick, and it's something that we haven't completely talked about, they might start thinking of their own reasons for people getting sick and their own reasons for them getting sick or their mom or dad getting sick. And this can be scary for kids. Honestly, it's scary for all of us. So taking a massage break with your child can be really helpful for a lot of reasons. You're spending some one-on-one time with your child, and it can reduce their stress and be a nice break for you too. You can see I'm not quite spending one-on-one time with Robert right now because he's watching Scooby-Doo and I'm talking to you guys. But normally, whenever we do this, we're just on the couch together or maybe in bed before reading a book or before his drum lessons. And we just take a moment for me to scratch his back, and we're just not looking at screens and just together in that moment. So when you have your massage time, it's a good idea to take a break, to not have your phone out, to not have the iPad or a screen on. That's not always the case. Sometimes you're watching your show and your child might jump into your lap and ask for a massage, and that's fine. You know, you do what you gotta do. And with our massage time, it's nice for your child to see that they're taking that. When you have massage time, it's nice for your child to see that you're taking a break from your work. You're taking a break from all of these things that have been preoccupying your mind, like household chores or maybe renovations or ordering groceries, or just stop all of that adult stuff. You spend this time just focused on your child. That's really nice for them to see, and it's really nice for you to feel too. Another great thing about taking massage breaks is this is all you need. You don't need paper or markers. You don't need glue or glitter or an iPad or the Zoom meeting room number. You don't need any of that stuff. All you need is you and your kid. Maybe you'll get lotion. Not a requirement. During massage time, you could treat this as a moment for you to have a conversation with your child, or it can be a quiet time. Maybe you could do a guided meditation together. But you really don't have to talk to each other. Just being with each other physically can be really helpful for the child. If you do want to have a conversation with your child while you're giving them a massage, some things that you could talk about could be, what have you been playing? A lot of kids are having imaginary play at home with their toys or with their siblings. So you can ask them, like, what story did you act out today? Unfortunately, a lot of times a topic might be, who was the bad guy in your story? Who was the good guy? If your child is doing educational games or still doing homeschooling, you can ask, what have you been learning about today? They might answer, well, I've been playing an alphabet game, and then you guys can talk about that alphabet game. If they're watching things, you can ask what show they've been watching or what movie they watched today, and you guys could talk about that. Maybe you could share little bite-sized chunks about what you've been doing at work, something that is appropriate for a 3 or 4-year-old to hear, because our children are always curious. Our children are always curious about what we are doing at work too. So there are even physical benefits of massage. When you're here physically rubbing your child's body, or doing these hand compressions or scalp scratches, it will help their brain release oxytocin, which is a chemical that will increase these feelings of social bonding, and it can actually decrease anxiety too. And it's hard to believe it with such young children, but they can have tense muscles too, and doing this can help relax their muscles a little bit, depending on what they'll let you massage. Robert doesn't like it when I rub his back. He just wants scratches. He just likes me scratching his skin. If your child doesn't have tense muscles, then having a massage just feels kind of nice. You don't need to be completely stressed out with all these knots to enjoy a massage, or a back scratch, or a head scratch. I've also found that, anecdotally, whenever my son has trouble focusing on schoolwork, if I just sit next to him and scratch his back, it actually helps him focus a little more. I think the sensory input, the nice sensory input, kind of helps him to focus on what I'm asking him to do. When I'm like, write a W, just down, up, just write the W, down, up. Come on, honey, you gotta write a W. This is our assignment, write the W. If I'm scratching his back, it helps him stop getting distracted and wanting to get up and do this and throw his pencil. Whenever I scratch his back while he's sitting in his chair, it actually does help him focus a little better. That's not really feasible for everyone to do, but it is something that I found has actually kind of worked pretty well. So that was all I really wanted to talk about today, just how it's nice, just an activity that you can do to kind of unplug and spend some physical time with your child, the ways that it can help. And I did want to bring awareness to the ways that your child may be showing stress. Some parents have contacted me with concern about certain behaviors that their children have, and from what I've heard, unfortunately I haven't been there to see it, but from what I'm hearing, these are all expected responses to a stressful event. So I'm hoping that this can be an activity that can help all of our families. And just again, I want to say that we completely understand whenever you're not able to be with your child 100% of the time and homeschool them and do all of these fun activities with them. If you're not watching all of these videos, that's totally fine. Every family is different, and we're just doing what we can to provide you with activities, with online materials, and with videos and Zoom classes that you can attend if you want to. But if you don't do any of that, it's totally okay. Please don't feel bad about that. This is a really challenging time for a lot of people, and putting your own stress onto yourself is unnecessary. You're all doing really great, and I can't wait to see you all again. Okay, bye.